The hearing was initially set for the 26th of March 2020, but was delayed multiple times as the defense played legal games, stalling proceedings. At one point, Naftali's lawyer failed to appear in court, citing political campaign commitments. Eventually, on the 27th of May 2021, his lawyer withdrew from the case, forcing the judge to appoint a new one to expedite the trial. Frustrated by the delays, Ivy's family wrote to Chief Justice Martha Koome, who then directed the presiding judge to prioritize the case. Naftali, realizing the walls were closing in, tried one last trick. He requested that the judge disqualify himself from the case, alleging bias. The court dismissed his request and the trial finally resumed on the 8th of July 2021. Witnesses, including Ivy's classmate Andrew Koinange, recounted how Naftali had stalked and threatened her before the murder. DNA evidence confirmed that the blood on the axe matched Ivy's, and a cybercrime report showed no romantic exchanges between them, only friendly conversations. Andrew Koinange, the classmate, told the court that he was with Ivy that fateful day. He stated that while the two of them were walking, Naftali snuck up on Ivy and hacked her on the head with an axe. He saw Ivy fall to the ground, and Kinuthia continued to hack her while she was already bleeding badly. Andrew felt overpowered by Kinuthia and sought to flee from him while shouting in order to grab the attention of the boda operators who were quick to action. The postmortem report indicated that Ivy Wangeci had an 18-centimeter C-shaped cut wound involving the left side of the head temporal region. The deep wound had caused a fracture of the parietal bone on the left side. The covering of the brain had been exposed from the fracture. There was a second deep cut wound measuring 12 centimeters. This was a straight cut wound starting from the upper part of the neck, extending to the left cheek and the left eye. The said wound had severed the main blood nerves of the neck on the left side. The head was open, therefore there was bleeding into the brain, both the right and left sides. The cause of death was opted to be hypovolemic shock due to excessive bleeding. In total, the prosecution presented 17 witnesses, and on the 6th of December 2022, the judge ruled out that Naftali Kinuthia had a case to answer and be placed on his defense in March of 2023. Kinuthia's lawyer told the court that the defense had no witnesses and would only take one day to complete its case. On the 4th of March 2023, Naftali Kinuthia finally confessed. Together with his lawyer, they had created this almost amazing story that painted Ivy Wangeci as a gold digger who didn't want Naftali but led him on just for financial gains, and on the day of the murder, she hugged another man, which caused him a lot of pain that resulted in the attack. His story was weak, and the prosecution easily poked holes into it, leaving him with nothing to fall back on. In reality, Naftali Kinuthia presented provocation as his defense. Provocation is recognized defense in law under Section 207 and 208 of the Penal Code Cap 63, Laws of Kenya. though not absolute for, if successful, can only lead to a reduction of the offense of murder to manslaughter and not to an acquittal. Naftali Kinuthia's defense on the facts that relates to provocation is that he had nurtured his relationship with the deceased since they were children in primary school till the time she met her death on the 9th of April 2019. He had invested considerable time and money, but Ivy Wangeci was unfair to him. In the days leading up to her death, she had refused to meet him and also blocked him on her phone, preventing him from contacting her. He said that he had traveled all the way from Thika to Eldoret on several days, purposefully to see her, not knowing that she had another boyfriend. Her action of hugging and holding hands with a man he considered his rival in front of him awakened some dark emotions that made him lose control. Sadly for him, his claims held no waters, as the prosecution had already proved that no romantic relationship existed between him and Ivy. The hug that he claims provoked him was not unlawful, as stated in Section 208 of the Penal Code. A lawful act is not provocation to any person for assault. So, in short, Kinuthia's defense was baseless. Naftali Kinuthia's lawyer argued for leniency, citing that he was a first-time offender. They pleaded with the court not to give him a custodial sentence, stating that he had already reformed after staying in remand prison for 3 years, but the court will hear none of it. On the 14th of December 2023, Naftali Kinuthia was sentenced to 40 years in prison for his heinous crime. This judgment felt quite unjust to the victim's side, but was a big blow to Naftali Kinuthia, as he will be 73 when he gets out of prison. The judge dismissed his claims of provocation, stating that his choice of weapon, an axe, proved premeditation. Since his sentencing, Naftali has not filed an appeal. Though the exact prison he is held in is unclear, he is likely serving time in either Nairobi or Eldoret. Naftali Kinuthia destroyed 2 lives, his and Ivy's, over a relationship that existed only in his mind. He was a 28-year-old man with a stable job and a promising future, yet he threw it all away in a moment of rage. Before acting on anger, think about the consequences. My name is Yusuf, and this is Unearthed. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and see you in the next episode.